What do you have zero tolerance for? What is that you absolutely cannot take it? And what do you do about this situation? So let's discuss this today. Who wants to go first? Who wants to vent out first?
One thing I can't tolerate is if somebody is late. If I'm given the time, for me that's most important thing. And it depends how I tolerate these things. Official setting, yeah, you have to understand. You can't just go and tell everybody. But in general, those things are not that bad. But in social, yeah, somebody will invite always on time or before time. So I'll be waiting either in the parking lot, if that happened number of times. Understand other situation and say, okay, I don't want to change myself because of others.
Yeah, that's very common though, right? People don't respect others' time.
That's like not respecting somebody's time, because people don't realize, time is very precious. Like if somebody's given you time, they should be there on time. That I get annoyed with, but I handle it quite all right if I have time. But if I have to go somewhere after that, then it's a different thing, right? You have another appointment or something. The other thing is when somebody faking when they're not what they pretend to be. That I get annoyed with, and I can't handle that well.
You said you cannot handle it. So what do you do?
Go quiet and stay away. Like
If somebody lie or manipulate the things, I can't tolerate.
So what do you do? You speak out or you just keep quiet?
I keep asking the question. First you said that, now you said that. It's just,
Contradictory statements.
yeah, I keep asking questions. Manipulate, I can't tolerate when people manipulate or lie.
Sometimes some people don't even know they're getting manipulated. You know that? No, I'm telling you, some people are so innocent. They don't even know they're getting manipulated.
Depending upon some of the situation, I don't like the fact that when there is some discrimination or bias. Things have to be treated somewhat equally in a same way. Like it could be any situation. When there is some favoritism or bias for some reason, that really puts me off. I said, why? Like everybody should be treated equally and fair. Like it should be fair and just. Sometimes when I see it, it irks me a lot. I do try to question it where there's an opportunity. If I can ask for why this is being done, I try to do that. But sometimes the change happens, sometimes it just doesn't happen. It just continues to stay that way. And that really is that's something that I cannot tolerate.
Very good answer.
One that was already mentioned about the timing, like tardiness or not being on time. The other one is taking credit of others' work. That's a zero tolerance one for me at least.
I was very particular about orderliness. Whatever is the things should be kept in the right place in the right time. I was very particular at my younger age, and I was very strict with my kids. Though I was not very rude, I used to be very stern and told them to do that way. But now at this age, I'm not very particular about that. I cannot, have a control over others. But still, I do that way. That I am very particular about that. I cannot tolerate if it is not done on time.
I don't know the answer only because I feel like it doesn't bother me, right? Because I feel like, okay, I can't change this. Or if there are things like, for example, I've given examples of when people, speak rudely in a meeting or things like that, then I can bring it up, right? But most of the time I feel like when it just impacts me, I'm just like, I'm okay.
Rub it off.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, because I think that's how I maintain my equilibrium. But when I see something else with somebody else being impacted, it impacts me a lot, which is, I don't know, like for example, if somebody abuses a child, who's a weaker person, or like an older person or a younger person, I feel like it really, my blood boils.
Okay, when somebody is torturing somebody who needs protection,
I want to take revenge. I want to do something, but I don't know. I can't. But I don't know if you're getting my point.
Yes, I'm getting your point. Sure, everybody is getting your point. That sometimes you feel limited, you don't know what to do, but you really feel bad about such situations.
Personally, when somebody promised me something and they don't do it, they don't care to do it, that irks me a lot. It's like I feel so disappointed and I just feel so angry.
Promises not fulfilled disturbs you, and you have zero tolerance for that. So, not keeping your word.
Yeah, there are many things that that I have to work on myself.
So, you're not mentioning because the list is so long.
Yes.
मराठी में एक saying है ना, मूवीज में आपने सुना होगा, अत्ता माझा सटकली, famous dialogue in some movies, you know, अत्ता माझा सटकली means now my mind has gone. If that happens very often for you, then the list is very long.
I mean, I've heard everybody, and almost all of it bothers me too, especially the time part of it. But I think I've just learned to not take too strongly. So I don't know if I have anything remaining where I can say I have zero tolerance for, because I think I've built that tolerance that I'm fine. I just started ignoring it, or it's okay.
काम चल जाता है, right?
काम चल जाता है. Yeah, exactly.
If it's not affecting your existence,
Exactly.
then you can.
It has to be really that level to bother,
Okay.
but I'm fine. Like, okay.
If somebody is lying, 0% tolerance. I cannot take it. It could be my kids, my husband, anyone outsider. I mean, I can be angry with my family or my family member, but I cannot control the people. I mean, I cannot control I will have to control my anger for the people who are not a part of family. I just have to, take a break for a week or two from them, and then when I'm at peace, then I talk. Say on their faces that you are lying to me. Sometimes you can gauge that that person is lying to me. You come to know from other sources that that person lied to me. It happened a lot of time. People lied, so I took a break.
So you put yourself away from the situation, and then your mind
Yes.
calms down, then you are ready to face.
Yes,
Okay.
that's true.
Yeah, majority of us are like that. So we are here not talking about sadhus, which are the saints who have achieved a state of mind where nothing bothers them. Okay, yet they can be very productive in the society, doing good for others or running organizations or things like that. We are talking about sadhaks like us who are struggling to achieve that state of mind. The only thing you should not tolerate is, as per our rishis, is you should not be tolerating your own physical or mental weakness to the world. So they say, okay, rishis have said that you can always get thousands of things in the world to which you can have a negative response to that situation. So any negative response to any physical or emotional pain, whether you get a fever or you get a fracture, or somebody is, you're not able to tolerate their demeanor, or they're not coming on time, a negative response to any situation is a suffering. So they have always told in all the discourses, or their teaching is to go beyond this duality. So the only thing you should not tolerate is your negative response to a situation, any situation. And the moment it comes to you, that awareness develops. Oh, I'm getting irritated because that person is not showing up on time. I'm getting irritated because the promise he did was not getting fulfilled. You have to develop that awareness within your own self that it's me who's getting disturbed and I have to work. Now, tolerance has a very negative connotation to it, because rishis have said you should not tolerate anybody, you should accept everybody. Accept doesn't mean you take whatever they're giving to you. Okay, it doesn't mean that. Acceptance simply means this person, yes, is present in your life. Yes, this situation is present in your life. It also means creating your boundaries and protecting yourself too. First of all, you have to understand this person or situation has come in your life because of your own prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is our own karma phal. This person is in my life, or situation is in my life because I am in this situation. I have created such karmas for myself that I am facing this situation. Okay, you have to understand that. It's my own calling. I have attracted these people in my life or the situation in my life. So can you change situation of people around your life? Yes, you can. It may sound esoteric, but yes, you can. Like somebody was complaining that they have a friend circle in which they gossip a lot. Somebody was few weeks back or months back we did a satsang. Can you change such people in your life? Yes, you can. It's your own karma that you are around with the such people. That they're not doing satsang, they're doing gossip. Can you change that? Yes, you can change that. The moment you start working on yourself, you can change everything around you. This is your own actions, your own reactions is the most important thing that you should be working on. So if you're getting disturbed by something, the attention should be first here. Oh my God, I'm getting disturbed. What is wrong with me? But that doesn't mean you don't take proper steps. I have always been, I had a clinic and I had employees under me. So there was one youngster who was an employee. You know, young people, when they come, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. And this one new girl, a college student, she used to just sit on social media and not do the work assigned to her, her secretary job. I gave her one warning, two warnings, then the third warning came. I put cameras also to see what actually she's doing on computer. Actually, if she's doing work, then I had enough evidence that she's not working. One day, I fired her. It was the most dramatic episode of my life as an employer. Held my leg. Please forgive me. Just like a movie scene. And then I had to drag my leg out of the clinic. It was totally dramatic. That's what I'm saying. Accepting people doesn't mean you tolerate all the nonsense. Because if I'm not following a rule or a dharma of my manager, what is my main duty? That I'm being adharmic. So that aspect also you have to take. If you have to teach somebody, your kids or somebody junior to you, to be on time or do certain things in a particular way, or protect somebody, you must do that. Being tolerant doesn't mean tolerate everything. So, wo seema means the boundary. You have to decide. The more you evolve in a journey, more you can decide that boundary. For a grihast especially. Okay, if you're a sadhu, it doesn't matter to you. Really doesn't matter to you. But if you are interacting, आप जीवन में व्यवहार कर रहे हो लोगों से, you're not sitting up on Himalayas in a cave, then you must create your boundaries, you must take right actions. So yes, you may have zero tolerance for something, then take actions if you are in a position to take action. There's nothing wrong in it, but with the mental peace.
Can you just elaborate a little bit on that? Let's say a person is annoying us and like you're not feeling comfortable, there is a lot of negativity coming towards you. Try to maybe point out or explain, but how do you actually define those boundaries in a way like you don't want to, like one is offending, the other thing is just calling out right and wrong. But if it keeps repeating, how do you do that? How do you manage that?
You have to keep repeating your boundaries, asserting. So you have to replace your anger with assertion. You have to use the right words. That's why you have to work on your mind to understand how should I transmit this message. And you can just stay, you may be in a stern voice, firm voice, but without having the agitation in your mind that I really don't like this. I appreciate if you can do this way. If that person is coming again and again and troubling you, then you have to physically maybe able to distance yourself so that you can at least maintain the peace of your mind. Creating boundaries can mean anything. But if you won't do it and if you're getting affected, you're not strong enough. Your mind is like a sapling, small sapling. You have to protect that sapling, isn't it? That's also your dharma.
I totally agree with you. I also was about to fire somebody on the team because they were not following. That I cannot tolerate because others are being affected. Other team members have to pick up the slack, then that's not okay. So you're right. Certain things you have to follow your dharma as a manager and say, okay, you know what, this is not working. So I have to talk to HR. I got all the process going.
Yeah. So, and again, you have to keep in mind that it should not hurt you emotionally or cause that suffering inside, even though you're playing that role of zero tolerance. That inner calmness should always be present. If somebody is coming late, you tolerate for a while, you keep doing your stuff, maybe your sadhana during the time of waiting, but send that message across to that person that, you know, I really appreciate if you can come on time because our time is very precious. So you do convey the message. You can convey the message by also putting yourself away from that situation or that kind of crowd. That also you can do. That's also a way of conveying the message that you don't want to dwell in that kind of atmosphere. So it depends on situation to situation how you want to go about it and how much is your tolerance or acceptance of the situation or the person, how much you are willing to let go. But spiritual growth simply means how calm your mind is while performing actions in the world, while interacting with people. Spiritual growth means how stronger your mind has become. It doesn't mean tolerating all the nonsense. Becoming calm inside doesn't mean that you're even calm outside. You can show your ugra roop, you know. You can use your anger. Now listen to my words very carefully. You can use your anger, not be angry inside. But you can show anger and get your work done if that is what is getting your work done. But inside, anger is not inside. It's just in the role that you're showing that loud voice. That's all it is. There's a difference. There's no suffering inside. You understand the subtle difference what I'm speaking about? Inside, Radhe Radhe Rama Rama चल रहा है बाहर से उग्र रूप काली बन सकते हैं ना हम चंडी का भी रूप ले सकते हैं किसने मना किया है बट किस वार करना है उसको देखना है.
But sometimes it's hard for us not to hurt inside.
So you have to understand, only one thing you have to work is in your mind. People are not going to change. You have to accept this is the kind of person I have in my life. First of all, accept it. This is my prarabdha karma to have this kind of person in my life. Remember this term, prarabdha karma. There are 3 types of karmas according to our rishis. One is sanchit karma. Now this is the theory part I'm telling. Sanchit karma जो जमा रहता है पूर्व जन्म संस्कार, okay, what we call from so many lifetimes. It's like a bank account. Then what your body you're getting is because of your prarabdha karma. This birth is because of the prarabdha karma. Prarabdha is because of which you have got your body, जिसके कारण आपका शरीर में जन्म हुआ है. इसका मैंने बहुत ही डिटेल वीडियो बनाया है भगवत गीता के एपिसोड्स में या सेकेंड चैप्टर में कहीं पे बनाया है. सो थ्योरी ऑफ कर्मा है. सो संचित कर्मा है जो सारा जमा है, उसमें से सपोज फलित होता है कुछ, सम पाप कर्मा, सम पुण्य कर्मा, दैट बिकम्स आवर बॉडी. Again, there's nothing to prove or disprove this. This is theory given by our rishis. That's what I'm telling as it is. Okay? This is not my saying. प्रारब्ध कर्म के कारण बॉडी मिला है. मान लो किसी को गोरा बॉडी मिला है, किसी को काला बॉडी मिला है, किसी को मोटा, किसी को कैसा भी कंजेनाइटल डिजीज मिला है, somebody is so beautiful. Everything is, they say, it's according to your prarabdha karma. The type of mother you'll be born to is also your prarabdha karma. You choose that kind of parents also. The place you're born, everything is your prarabdha karma. It's set that this is what you have got. तो प्रारब्ध कर्म पे ही सारा एस्ट्रोलॉजी बेस्ड है, उसके ही प्रिडिक्शन पे एस्ट्रोलॉजी बेस्ड है. बट ऋषियों ने ये भी बोला, द थर्ड टाइप ऑफ कर्मा विच इज द आगामी कर्मा, जो आप आज कर्म कर रहे हो ना, दैट कैन चेंज योर होरोस्कोप टोटली. आपका एस्ट्रोलॉजी पूरा चेंज कर सकता है, मतलब मेजॉरिटी, क्योंकि आगामी कर्मा आपका जो अभी से कर रहे हो वो चेंज करता जाएगा. जो पहले से बना हुआ है उसको चेंज नहीं करेगा, बट इफ यू कीप वर्किंग इन द राइट डायरेक्शन, इसको क्रियामाणी कर्मा भी बोलते हैं. जो क्रिया आप कर रहे हो ना अभी एट द प्रेजेंट मोमेंट डिटर्मिन्स योर फ्यूचर लाइफ. दैट्स व्हाई दे से यू कैन ऑल्सो चेंज योर प्रेडिक्शंस, एस्ट्रोलॉजी. इवन कुछ कैंसर भी आने वाला होगा, इवन इफ दैट कम्स इट वोंट बॉदर यू बिकॉज यू वर्क सो मच ऑन योर बॉडी एंड माइंड. सो लॉट ऑफ महात्मास दे डाइड ऑफ कैंसर, लाइक स्वामी रामकृष्ण परमहंस, Ramana Maharshi. They had cancer in their late life, but they did not suffer with the cancer. Maybe they had a lot of pain in their body, but they did not suffer. You understand? There's a difference between pain, okay, but the suffering is different. Suffering is having a negative response to it or always crying about it, getting emotional about it. So that is the most powerful karma that our rishis have said. That no matter how much this person is annoying you in your life, once you change the direction of life and the response to it, so more you're not able to tolerate a person, more sadhana you have to do. Lot of times, not only 1 or 2 times, lot of times people call me with lot of problems, like they are not able to sleep or they are having a lot of stress in their life. But when I ask them actually what you're doing in your life, how you're spending your 24/7, they are not spending even 5% of their life in sadhana. What is sadhana? Sadhana is your daily practices. It could be a puja, it could be a mantra jap, it could be pranayam, it could be yogasan. It's a holistic approach, not a physical approach only. And that sadhana, the purpose of sadhana is not that you do 15 minutes or half an hour and then forget about rest 23 hours. No, that sadhana should have a spillover effect on how you live your life in the next 23 hours. How you sleep, how you get up in the morning. Everything should be a effect of your sadhana if your sadhana is powerful. Then and only then you'll be able to eliminate such energy from your life. So if you're having, it will take time. The tendency of the mind doesn't happen quickly. It takes a lot of time. So when I was little, I remember this from a very, very long time ago. I was, I think, maybe 4 or 5 years old. And I have this vivid memory somehow that I think it was my mama's wedding. And my mother was somehow in hospital. I don't know why she was in hospital. Maybe I was having a baby sister or she was sick. I don't remember that. But she was not present in that wedding. I was with relatives and maybe my father was present or not present. I also don't remember that. So I always had this insecurity from childhood. I don't know why. I always had this low self-confidence, insecurity from the childhood. I remember that I was so much in tears and going from one relative to the other, just, they were trying to calm me down, but I was not calming down. I was like in so much of stress at that time when the wedding was going on, because I think I was missing my mother or whatever it was happening. And that insecurity lasted with me till my teenager years, and till I got exposed to yoga in my grade 12, around 17-year-old. Then I understood a little bit, okay, whatever it is, it's within me, right? I know situations, but somehow I had this understanding that I have to work on myself. That came very early to me. And then what happened when I left my home after grade 12, I went to university right after, outside my home city. Somehow I had a calendar image of Durga ji in my room. I used to have it. So I cut that calendar, just niche ka portion, and then I carried that top portion with me to the hostel. Somehow I felt this is the Shakti, representation of Shakti, and I'm lacking that Shakti within me. So I should pray to Durga ji. And she is my mother from now onwards because I'm going out of my home. So she'll be my mother in absence of my mother. So every day I used to chant Durga Chalisa, every day, without fail. And somehow every time I chanted, I used to get just Shakti. I did not. And so I've been chanting for a long time, so many years, so when I was 18 till now. And then I feel if I stop chanting, maybe my Shakti will go away. Sometimes I have this feeling. So you have to do something sincerely and then surrender to that Shakti, whatever form you can do that. And then have that, and gradually you'll know. Rishis have told that to surrender to the Shakti, to know Bhagwan, you have to develop relationship with Bhagwan. How do you develop relationship with Bhagwan? By bhajan or naam bhajna, naam jap karna. That's the best form they have given. Any naam you take it, you keep chanting some mantra or some naam jap, that will open up your doors to know Bhagwan. Rishis never said Bhagwan mein vishwas karo. They said know Bhagwan. To know or to love, to get that devotion from inside, you have to spend time with that divinity. And it's nowhere else, it's inside you only, right? That's what they said. So more time you spend with your sadhana, that should have more effect in your life. And gradually your surroundings will change totally. And then people who were giving you trouble will suddenly become silent or go away from you. Somehow the situation will mold around you. It happens. And you'll be surrounded with people with positive energy. But then how much is your sadhana working? And that's what I'm saying, the only thing you should have zero tolerance for internally is your own mind getting disturbed. Got disturbed? Damn, I got disturbed. Go to your puja room or just start chanting right away. So you have to be very, very aware as sincere sadhaks. That's why I'm saying the spiritual growth requires a lot of time, energy, and effort. It's a like 24/7 pursuit. It's not something that you can do part-time. But you'll say, I have so many responsibilities. Last time you said, Gayatri, how will you do that? Every work is a sadhana. Think like that. Every moment is a sadhana, no matter what you're doing. That alone can transform your life. And in Bhagavad Gita, that term is called Karma Yoga. All your karmas become yoga with that moment-to-moment awareness.
At some point, you feel that you're not doing justice to your work. You're being adharmic to your work. What steps should you take?
Start becoming dharmic or analyze the situation. What is making me adharmic?
Should I just quit?
It's up to you. Quitting, if you can afford to lose the job, you can quit. If you can, then you mend your actions. If you don't want to do that and you can afford to change or take a break from your job, you can. Who's stopping you to do? It's your choice. But you should not be.
But it's a risk. Yeah, it's a big risk.
How much risk you're willing to take? It's up to you, right? Nobody can decide it for you. That is why the onus of the karma is given to an individual. After teaching everything to Arjun, in the last chapter, Bhagwan says, "Yatha ikshasi tatha kuru." मैंने सब समझा दिया, जैसी इच्छा वैसा करो. Do however you please, because the onus, the burden of that karma is given to us. So you are the best person to decide that. But you also know what you're doing dharmic or what you're doing adharmic. You're also the best person to decide because everybody knows that inherently. It's just that we don't
but
follow.
People around me are stopping me from making that decision. So it's very hard. when you want to do something and people around you think otherwise.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you really have that inner calling for anything, you will not even bother about anybody is willing to be with you or not willing to be with you. If your willing is that strong, that means your willing is not that strong right now. Again, it's your responsibility to assess yourself. If your calling is not strong, you'll not do that. You will depend on others' opinion or others. Again, you're attaching with others. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice the opinion of the person who's giving you opinion? If you're okay with that, go ahead. Do whatever you want to do. But you have to take that full responsibility. If the outcome is negative or positive or negative, doesn't matter. You have to be willing to take that 100% responsibility and not feel guilty or have a suffering afterwards. That is more important.
That's the main thing.
So whatever decision you're making, you should not suffer at the end. Some grit is required to make a decision. You know the word grit? I love that word. Everybody should have. As you grow in your mind, your grit increases. To take risk, to explore, to go against opinions of people. It all comes naturally. because you're only one point focus. Ram kaj karbe ko atur. I'm just going to follow dharma. What is my calling right now? And if it's aligned with dharma and the goal of my life, I'm going to go towards that. And you're not bothered about others' opinion. You're not bothered about people leaving you or bad mouthing you. You're not bothered about that because your goal is absolutely clear. Right now, you're dependent on others' opinion. That's what I feel. That means the calling is not that clear. It's not that strong. Its mind is still confused. So duvidha hai mind mein. Duvidha. There's duality. There's no one. Oneness आया नहीं अभी तक उसमें. Absolute clarity. What decision I'm making, I'm making. I don't worry about the consequences. Wherever there's a suffering, that means there's a duality. Always remember that. The sukh, the happiness is only in singularity. If somebody feels that doing this yoga, jap, tap, and puja and belonging to a particular community or religion, and they feel that, oh, I'm doing a great job, they may be doing sattvic job, but they're again dwelling in that duality, that I am different than the other. Even that called ghamand, yeah, ego, ahankar of belonging, where something, oh, because I'm this, I am behaving like this. That is the last thing to go. That is called sattvic ego or sattvic ahankar. Lot of people get stuck there. They think, oh, I'm not eating non-veg, I'm very good. I'm doing puja and jap, I'm very good. And they look at others who are doing all the other things. Bollywood parties, they think that they are not fit for nothing. Even that duality should resolve. Everybody should be allowed to exist according to the tendencies of their mind. Let them do whatever. That's freedom. That's freedom within yourself, freedom for others too. Till you start judging others or have a duality about others, that's also not accepted by our rishis. Acceptance for all, singularity, okay, oneness. That is Atmik Bhav. Unless you get that vision, keep working on yourself.
For the previous question, that if you take a book and say 2 actions, right? You have to take action 1, action 2, and then write the pros and cons of each action and weigh them and see. Generally, that's how, if I want to take a decision and I don't know what decision I should take, then that's generally, sometimes it helps to clarify what you're willing to give up and what you're not willing to give up, and what will be the outcome.
All these exercises you have to do till your mind becomes absolutely clear. Once it's absolutely clear, it's almost like a mother's child is drowning and she has nothing to but jump in the water. If it's that clear, then it's clear. I would say that I have to do this. So, but if that's not that clear, then you have to keep doing all this mental exercise to writing down and writing pros and cons. Ultimately, a stage comes when you have absolute clarity about everything. And you're not bothered by anybody coming late, anybody being insincere. I was bothered a lot by insincere people because I was an employer and I had people under me, or generally in life, if I don't find my patients sincere or my family sincere about doing particular things, suppose if they're suffering with something, I tell them as a therapist to do something. If they're not sincere, I would have a lot of issues that they're not listening, they'll suffer. But at this point, there's nothing like that. I can tell you from my experience, because everybody is going through their own karmic journey. That when that understanding comes, then you get mentally detached from their journey and then start living your own journey, paying attention within. That's all it is. You guys are like 40, 50 years old now, okay? Or even more, maybe. If you have survived till this age, you'll survive more. Minimum 40, 50 years, if you have lived your life, you've got at least 2 meals a day. That means you've done some really good karma. You have a roof under your head. You'll still get it. Don't worry about it. The only thing is work on your mind. Really, don't worry. If your food, shelter, clothing is met, why to worry? Why to worry? The only thing you have to then work on your mind and create your mind so strong that you can help others who don't have food, shelter, and clothing. Think about others. Always worrying about self when everything is met. So you're attracting that thing only. Like, some people have everything, they still complain. Then the universe gives them more chance to complain all the time. You don't want to be around such people, do you? Don't stop complaining about your life. Everything is good. Everything is awesome.
I said start dancing from tomorrow.
Why tomorrow? Abhi, Sharna, is Sharna. Every breath is a new life, remember that. Why wait till tomorrow? You sleep, you're going into another world. Who knows you're going to come back? At least that's how I sleep. I don't know which loka I'm going to. Why delay good thing? Here and now. Freedom is here and now. बाहर तो ड्रामा ही ड्रामा है प्रदीप जी, राम सिर्फ अंदर है.
इस ड्रामे से इतने दिन गुजर गए तो आगे भी गुजर ही जाए. क्या
गुजरिए, बट फ्रॉम अ डिस्टेंस. स्टेज पे रखिए ड्रामा को, अपने पास नहीं लेके आइए. इतना तो सीख लीजिए मोक्ष धाम में आने के बाद.
Yeah, like a lot of things, they like sometimes they're like, I'm absolutely clear in my decision, but sometimes, like, even for a small thing, and you, like what Gayatri said, you start writing this and that, and at the end, I feel I should have just taken the decision. Like those writing probably might be helping sometime, but like your gut feeling sometimes
Yeah.
is just take it.
Yeah, for me, writing and all doesn't work anymore because I feel I'm just convincing my mind not to do it, whereas I'm 100% sure I have to do it. You know, so that you have that you said gut feeling is also very important. That go for it. What are you waiting for?
But that's what, for some time, like you start like dwelling on certain things, minor thing, and you end up spending a lot of time thinking about it. That at the end said, I should have just taken the decision. But that happens. I think is a part of learning exercise. But
It's also good to put it out there and see pros and cons also. But then sometimes I feel that even if there's some cons or short term cons, I'll go for that decision, and in long term it proves healthier. You know, that way, or successful. I may have some problem in short term, but for long term, so you have to think of long term, not short term. Remember that. Don't make your decision on a short term gain. Think for a long term gain. What is beneficial for you? Or no, Shreyas versus Prey. Shreyas means beneficial for everybody around you, not only you. Maybe I think about this question. Are you running away from a situation? Ask this question. Are you making this decision because you want to run away from situation, or are you making the decision based on something deeper, more profound, or love, or really creative? What is it happening? So running away from a situation sometimes doesn't solve a problem. But I'm not saying that for people who are getting abused or something, they have to take a strong decision and actually go away from the situation. That's different.
you clearly mentioned when you really want somebody else to confirm what you're really thinking to take that decision and waiting for their confirmation from. I always feel that's not the right feeling because ultimately it's you who has to take.
My decision, right? It's my decision, no matter what people say. Yeah, because our mind wants validation. That's all it is. जिनके सपने बहुत बड़े होते हैं, if your goal is really big, where you have to do it as a 24/7 pursuit, वो अपनी उड़ान, अपने सपनों की उड़ान दूसरे से पूछ के नहीं भरते. So you have to have a big goal in life. What do you want from life? What do you want to do? Way dharma and adharma, that because of your decision are some people going to suffer. Nobody should suffer because of your actions, especially people who are dependent on you. So that has to be kept in mind, and especially if you're a mother, you have to think about your children, how my actions are going to benefit them or make them suffer more. Always have that in the back of your mind, and then make decision. And then you get that absolute clarity, then your decision should be right. So yes, contemplation is important, but think of a bigger picture, bigger goal, no short-term goal, and think about every aspect. You cannot start a good thing by creating anything bad. That I said last time also, you cannot do something dharmic with a dharmic base, like abandoning your responsibilities. That's absolute no in spirituality. You should never abandon. क्योंकि भगवान ने अर्जुन को भागने के लिए नहीं बोला था. You have to stand there and do your duties while keeping your mind calm, and also pursue your dreams, but without hurting or abandoning any of your duties. When you become a mother, तुम आपके माँ का धर्म या parent का धर्म सबसे बड़ा होता है till your kids are dependent on you. Even it's bigger than the role of a spouse, a husband or a wife. Parent role is the biggest because you're creating a person. So you always have that in the back of your mind, that how my decision is going to impact my children who are dependent on me. Once they are adults, you're a free bird. And then there should be no pulling back. कि मन होता है ना, मन को बहाना चाहिए काम कम करने के लिए और रिस्क कम लेने के लिए. कई बार ऐसा भी होता है, like we get stuck into the risk evaluating factors. So if you are only dependent on yourself or nobody else is dependent, then you can take a little bit more risk on yourself, isn't it? But if there are many people dependent on you, that risk taking capacity goes down, that you cannot make a lot of decisions, which is true, which is practical way of living life. But again, you should be fully aware while taking that decision and not blame yourself, whatever decision you're taking. Should we end the session?
I got some clarity. Yeah.
We'll end with Om Purnamada. Everybody, just close your eyes for a moment and assimilate everything, whatever you've just heard. Take a deep breath. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति 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 Put your hands together. And just press your eyes and say thank you for everything that led to this moment. And feel the blessing, that gratitude from within. And just tell yourself one thing, that I'll just focus on my mind and increase the intensity of my sadhana, my practices every day for my growth. Thank you so much. Have a good night. You can watch the YouTube video, put comments, like it, share, subscribe.